What's going on, guys? We are back to recap North American Salt Mine groups. The group stages are done. They are complete. And surprising results, I would say, all in all on the North American side. So let's get into it. We'll have some plays playing in the background for both Europe and NA. We cleaned this up a bit more for after the Europe recap so it doesn't look as confusing for everyone at home. But let's get into it. I think Group A, let's break this one down. So I think First Killer's kind of been like slipped on, maybe like a lot of people thought maybe he's fallen off a little bit more in ones, but he pulls off the Group A victory. It includes players like Chronic in there as well and CRR, who are normally pretty solid. I would say probably Group B was probably the stronger group, but Group A, First Killer does come out on top, and CRR does narrowly get that 2 seed with the +5 game differential. It was an incredibly close group on both sides of the field. We had a 3-way tie at 3-2 in Group A. Wavy just barely takes down Beast Mode in match wins, 3-2. It was really close. It really came down to this final group matches. We had First Killer versus Chronic. That was for first place in the group. First Killer wins it in Game 5, as we can see in here, 7-6 Manfield Knight, of course, every single map. But just coming up clutch, taking that first seed away from Chronic, who's probably favored to be the first seed in Group A, at least according to my limited one's knowledge. On top of that, you had CRR with a big win over Beast Mode, which was the difference from possibly being number 2 for Beast Mode, which would have been a little bit harder because his game differential was a little bit worse. It was at 0 at the time, so Chronic might have actually got that 2 seed instead. But he drops down into that 5th spot, so he is safe. He'll be in main event number 2, but he is out, not in the playoffs. So Beast Mode falls to CRR, and CRR bumps up with that 3-1 victory to that number 2 seed. So hats off to him, who had a pretty good performance all throughout. Lost to Wavy, which was probably a little bit of an underdog one there, but Wavy also making some noise coming out. Got to play Zap last, who was having a hard time throughout this. So he gets that win to clinch his spot, and he knew that's all he had to do was take down Zap. Even if Beast Mode and CRR didn't play yet, because one of them would fall to 2 and 3. So Wavy making it through as that 4 seed. Chronic, though, probably wants some of these back. He also only took down Zap 3-2. I felt like Chronic didn't have the greatest group stage, but we'll see how it all plays out. And that's it. On the other side, Group B, gotta say that Group B was a little bit strange. You would expect apparently Jack to at least make it into the playoffs here, but this was a tough group all in all. Honestly, I'm not even sure who was probably the favorite to be the number 1 seed. I would probably put between Daniel, AJ, and apparently Jack, but maybe I'm just sleeping on Evo a bit. But Evo comes out +6 game differential, taking that number 1 seed. And really this comes down to, for apparently Jack being in that 5th spot, he'll be in the next main event. But that first loss to Cosmic 3-0 really hurt his chances there. So he dug himself a hole and couldn't get out of it. But let's talk about what happened in the final round, because the final round was crazy. He started coming back. Like, apparently Jack takes down AJ. He had AJ and Daniel left at the end. Takes down AJ, then goes up against Daniel to try and save his spot. And he was literally 1 game away from being the number 2 seed all in all. Because if he takes down Daniel here in that 3-2 match, if you can see here, you see Daniel's record. So that would have moved Daniel down to 3-2. And that's a 2-game swing. So he would have been 3-2 at a +0 game differential. Apparently Jack would have been 3-2 +0 game differential. So it would have came down to head, and apparently Jack would have won it. So really it came down to that Game 5. You can't see the scoreboard here on my side, but 6-4 in that final game. Apparently Jack narrowly missing out on playoffs because of just the Game 5, and that's how close it can be. It was a 3-way tie here again. AJ, he started off hot. He was chirping on Twitter. Got a 3-0 over Daniel, a 3-0 over Ray's Bull, and then he fell a little bit short. Cosmic 3-2. lost to apparently Jack 3-1, and then lost again, 3 losses in a row to Evo 3-2. And that game as well was for a big moment for Evo to get that number 1 seed. If he would have lost that, then he would have been 3-2 plus 4 in that game 5. AJ would have been 3-2 plus 4 as well. So that game 5 was the difference between the number 1 seed for him and the number 3 seed. So AJ would have popped up to the 2 seed as well. So a lot of crazy math going on for these game 5s that it really came down to the very, very end. Now let's look at the playoff bracket. Yeah, First Killer versus Daniel. That should be a good one. And then you have Evo versus CRR. On the bottom side, you have Chronic versus Cosmic. And AJ versus Wavy. So we'll see how it plays out. I think most people would say Group B was probably stronger. And we'll see if that plays into the bracket at all. That would be Daniel over First Killer. Evo over CRR. And then you have Chronic, right? Yeah, Chronic. Oh, no, Chronic was in the other group. So Chronic would lose to Cosmic, and then you have AJ would take down Wavy. But we'll see how it all plays out. It's going to be interesting to see how that battle happens. I expect... First Killer Daniel is a tough one, so that would face down to play Chronic or Cosmic, which honestly, I don't think you want to play either of those guys. I think AJ pops out of... will probably take down Wavy if I was a betting man. See if he'll bounce back, and then he'll get the loser of Evo CRR. Like, I could see AJ making a run to top 4 here, playing the loser of Evo and CRR, and then I think that's tough. I feel like Chronic could also come out. Cosmic could make a run. I think the loser, First Killer Daniel's in trouble. Is definitely in trouble. Well, I guess both of them are, because that's how we're calling it right now. So we'll see how it all plays out. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. That'll be next week. Will be the finals for the North American Salt Mine. But honestly, the Salt Mine delivered. The late round matches were so important on both sides. We had First Killer Chronic in Group A for first place. And then on the other side, all game 5s, and all of them mattered a lot, except for Raise Bull, which I want to give Raise Bull some credit here. He was 0-4, getting pretty much dumpstered by everybody. He lost 3-0, 3-0. He finally gets some games on Parent Jack, but loses 3-2. Loses 3-1 to Daniel, and he's already out. He's already last place, already knows it, and he comes back and takes down Cosmic 3-2. Hats off to him. It was actually a reverse sweep as well. Cosmic took games 1 and 2. Raisewell battles back. Like, come on. You're in last place. You're clinched for last. You're down 2-0 in your final set. And you could be like, hey, I just want to get home, right? Like, I just want to be done with this. I want to go take a break. This kind of stinks. I'm in last, whatever. No, he battles back, wins 3 games in a row. Credit to Raisewell for just playing through the entire group stage playoff, basically, or round robin. And honestly, that's a great sight to see, because that's the one issue with round robin a lot of times is if you're in last, you've already clinched something, they usually don't give 100%, and it could kind of throw off the group like leaderboard. But no, Raisewell battles back. Credit to him for that amazing performance versus Cosmic. Actually knocked Cosmic down only 1 spot, because we had 2 4-1s in that group, but it could have been more based on other matches around there too. So credit to him. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Playoff bracket should be great. And then stage 2, we'll do it all again. And I assume I'll cast some more open and close qualifiers. So that'll be a lot of fun. So definitely check those out. But that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.